And India's IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has responded to WION's interview of Japan's digital minister. Has praised Japan's interest in joining India's UPI payment systems. First, listen in to an excerpt from the interview of Japan's Minister for Digital Affairs, Konotaro, where he spoke with WION on Thursday, where he had said that such a collaboration could, of course, become the standard for cross-border payments in the near future. Listen in.
We just had our G7 digital ministers meeting last month, and we had our Indian digital minister, Mr. Vaishnaw, joined with us. And right now, Japan and India is trying to promote a digital cooperation. We are now seriously thinking about joining Indian UPI, the payment system.
The Indian Union Minister for Electronics and Information Technology, Ashwini Vaishnav, has acknowledged Japanese minister's comments and has shared the roadmap of how the UPI payment system could, of course, become more widely acceptable around the world. Listen in to this conversation of the minister with WION's principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibbal.
How do you see the comments of the Japanese minister saying that Japan would like to join the UPI?
During the G7 meeting, the Digital India vision of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji was presented to all the G7 digital ministers. There was very good response to it when people understood the comprehensiveness and the democratization of technology. That kind of approach was highly appreciated, and I thank the Japan's digital minister Kono-san for agreeing to evaluate the UPI for implementation, further implementation in Japan.
So further implementation, if you can elaborate on that, I mean, are we looking at some kind of team from Japan to India?
So it will require a lot of collaborative work. This is a very complex and comprehensive system on which the Japanese authorities and our Reserve Bank of India plus the NPCI, they will work together, and we will be constantly in touch. We'll monitor it very closely.
So when it comes to the comments, I'm pretty sure that other countries have also shown interest when it comes to India's UPI. If you can elaborate on the global interest in India's UPI.
There are good negotiations going on, good discussions going on with many countries.
That it costs roughly for Indians abroad $7 to send 100 rupees back, but in UPI there is no transaction. So if you can explain or expand on it further.
In financial transactions, whether they are transactions using cards or they are transactions across border, there are lots of friction. There are many friction points. When a UPI kind of system comes, quite a large number of these friction points get resolved. So then it can become a very smooth transaction and the cost of transaction reduces significantly. That is one of the objectives of the way UPI is created. The architecture of UPI is such that the frictions are removed. So that reduces the transaction cost dramatically.
So India has a huge market in terms of remittances. India has a huge diaspora abroad sending money back home. So how can UPI tap into this market?
Yes, of course. UPI can help smoothen those transactions, make sure that those transactions are at a very low cost.
So transactions are at a very low cost, but essentially, are we looking at any other similar kind of announcements, ventures, or perhaps understandings on which Indian government might be working on that might improve in the ease of doing business or in ease of transactions in India and, of course, across the world as well?
Yes, of course, we are working, as I said, and as and when we get to agreements, we'll keep you informed. Thank you.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.